Recording. Okay, this is recording now. So, hello YouTube. Here we are with Paulio the Arcturian, and I am Lazarka Teyulian Hin. For this live stream, we will talk about various topics that concern us right now, including ET disclosure, the disclosure movement, biology, the needles, as well as other topics in the same area. Polio, when you're ready, feel free to begin.
Oh, sorry. What's the question? Do you have a question?
No, I was only introducing you to YouTube. So, I have I think our first topic will be about the ETs and what they're doing now. So, have you ever seen extraterrestrials in the flesh, face to face, in person, in this
Yes, I
lifetime?
have.
Can
I've
you
had
describe it more?
I had two extraterrestrials. They were Pleiadian, and they caught me unawares one day when the phone rang while I was driving, going from one town to another town, and something in me um, just prompted me to answer the phone, which I normally would have just ignored. So I pulled over and the phone was still ringing and I answered it, and there was this female on the other side, and she said she was very adamant about making a booking with me to sell me some fans. She was posing as a salesperson. And normally I would have said no, but she was so persistent that I accepted. And then she was about to get off the phone, and I asked what the date was. And it was a few months later. So I just thought, oh, if I remember that, then I do. If I don't, I don't. She'll contact me before she comes. And I realized afterwards that she didn't get my address either. I'd forgotten all about this conversation until a day occurred and I had four men turn up at my door. Three of them were wearing white medical aprons, and the other one was in a red shirt. And right at the time that they turned up and came to my door, these two salespeople turned up, or were posing as salespeople, and the female was there along with a very tall male, and one of the guys in the white apron said, "We're going to be a while, you might want to leave," and she said, "No, we're happy to wait." And they raided my house, and I later found out there was a number of synchronicities involved with that situation, but they apparently worked for an unnamed division of our Australian intelligence organisation. And the Pleiadians were there to ensure my protection during this instance and occurrence. And I didn't realise it at that time because there was all sorts of things going on. But in the following days, I realised that they weren't human, and um, they didn't arrive in a vehicle, which you can't get away with leaving the property that I lived on without having a vehicle. It's in the country area, and I later found out from the Ninth Dimensional Arcturian Council that they teleported to my location to be there and left in the same way. Since then, I'm certain that I've come across that female again in Margaret River, and she approached me in the supermarket, and we had a short conversation, and that was the end of that. And I know that I've interacted with a number of others, but I was unaware of those moments in time, though I know that I've inadvertently witnessed others within our community.
Okay,
Um,
fascinating answer.
other I've cited the presence of ET ships in the sky. Um, this hasn't happened for a very long while now, but when my sixth dimensional Arcturian family are around, they'll connect with me telepathically and show me where to look in the sky, and they'll flash a super bright white beacon at me 3 times,
Mhm.
which is pretty special.
Have you collected some data about their identities, if allowed to reveal? Do they hold any significant position in the liberation of Earth, etc.?
Are they, sorry, in a position?
Do you have you like gathered leakable data about their identities, if allowed, and or do you know if they hold a significant position in the liberation of planet Earth?
Uh,
Your
any,
contactees.
all ships and ETs that are engaging with Earth at this present time have an interest in the evolution of humanity and are observing as such. And the vast majority of them are interested in participating in the ascension process of humans.
Mm, cool. So, did you ever like consciously astral travel and go into like your other body and do stuff? Did you ever go underground in the dumps? On note of that,
So in the realm of what, sorry?
did you ever astral travel and fight underground in the dumps?
No, no, I haven't.
No.
However, I have friends that are involved with clearing out the caverns inside the earth and participating in mending the firmament and with transmuting the chemtrails.
Hmm. Okay. So how long have you been waking up? When was the first time in this lifetime that you have really started to awaken to your true nature?
Probably 4 years ago when I was quiet one day and some beings came in and said, "We're ready for you now, Paul." And I knew exactly what they were talking about, and something inside me clicked, in that very moment, and that's when I started to look into uh, things with a lot more clarity. Up until that point, I have always known about the presence of extraterrestrials, and I've always been aware of the deceit and the presence of deceit revolving around our lifestyles.
Agreed.
I've always been psychic and clairvoyant throughout my life, but I've never had anyone in my family that recognized my gifts to the degree that they have been at. I grew up in a very religious family within the Roman Catholic family. And so my peers have mostly been indoctrinated with the church and its teachings, and that does not incorporate clairvoyancy. So it was never recognized, and I was never ever prompted to expand on my gifts. So when my guides came in 2017, just before the beginning of Revelations, they had come in a year or so beforehand, and I ignored their prompt at that time. Um, but when they came back in 2017, there was something inside me that couldn't ignore it at that stage, because this is the time that I have been programmed to move into full awareness of the ascension of humanity and to assist with this, which is a part of my contract in this lifetime.
Mm. So before you really woke up, how was your life like? How did you see Earth when you were like, for example, a child, or when you started to really grow up into adulthood? Did you get
I was like,
rejected, harassed, targeted?
I've always been uh, the oddball and alienated as a child. Um, but how I saw the world was how many other children see the world when you're given a scenario that you live under, then you can't see past that scenario.
Hmm. Okay. And did you have you been in connection with, like, quite an unrelated question, but have you been in connection with fairies, elemental spirits? What is the most resonating, for example, mythological species, or what history calls mythological? Or is there a group of species or certain worlds that you have resonated the most with as you uh, moved forward in this lifetime?
Yes, Arcturians, and most of my soul family members that have presented themselves to me are Arcturian.
Mhm. Do you have any incarnated on Earth soul family members right now, or have been incarnated?
Yes,
How many are they close?
50, 50, 53.
Okay. Do you know anyone of these people in your family or as complete strangers?
No.
No. Do you feel that they are quite advanced or are they like a mixed bag or
Varying degrees with varying levels of service to humanity.
okay. Do you um how did you feel when you really started to have all of these sudden experiences in your life?
Um, I just kept an open mind and kept moving forward with all that I came across and used my psychic awareness, my intellect, my mental capacity. I used every faculty available to me to feel and interpret what I was seeing and felt how it fit in with my current uh, belief systems and understanding at every given moment. So I just moved forward with that uh, without any other concern.
Okay. So have you ever encountered your twin flame? The genuine one?
The twin flame concept is completely misinterpreted. Your twin flame is your energetic double, and this energy is a replication of your physical self, your physical, mental, and quantum self.
Okay. Have you ever tapped into such a consciousness?
To the twin flame,
The energetic double you speak of?
well, it is you. So you're always tapped into it.
Okay, yes, but have you ever like spoken or interacted with such a consciousness the way someone just meets their double?
Well, you are it. So you're always, you are the consciousness of it. It's not separate.
No, but I was like thinking like someone someday just meets their embodied double even though they're always connected with, like I met her on Earth someday and like stuff like that. Or is it really just a unity you always are connected with, so you don't really have to like go through the stuff that people experience when they meet their energetic twin?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Oh, so you're saying that you're always connected to your energetic twin, so you didn't have to have the experiences for, let's say, people who are into the twin flame stuff they think of. So they, like me, one day I just met my own twin energy and she's embodied and we're in two different bodies but we're the same oversoul. But what I'm talking about is, did you ever have like an experience where you see them even though you're part of their same soul, or did you go through a different process because it's not the same for you?
Uh, when you meet soulmates, they are aspects of your oversoul, but your twin flame is you. It's not, you are not separated from your twin flame. It is you, it's your personality God self. So
Okay.
you're never separated from that part of yourself. It's a energetic duplication of your physical body.
So I have my twin flame somewhere, but we're the same being. Like
You
looks
are,
exactly like me.
well, you are it. So
I see.
there isn't as such a twin flame elsewhere, but you do have soulmates and many
Okay.
of.
Yeah, I do know a few of my soulmates. Do you know if you have any soulmates, or have you ever spoken to them?
Yes, of course.
What about Elektra, the
Electra.
person you sometimes do videos with?
She is not a soulmate. She is a friend, and we were united by our guides to participate together in the ascension of humanity.
Oh. And have you had significant results from this union?
Significant results from this, sorry,
From this union of forces?
with
Eh,
Elektra.
Yeah, with the energy and like doing videos together.
Yes, of course.
Oh, cool.
She's a very gifted woman, and she was able to teach me things and to pass many messages on to me to assist me on my own journey.
Sure, sure. And have you, what was the perhaps most memorable out there experience you've had
With
with the dimensions and your
with
mission?
dimensions,
Yeah, or in general. It can be specific though.
well, it's just the general overall feeling that you have when you're in another space.
Hmm. Okay.
As for any particular experience, they're all very magical.
Hmm. I agree on that. And are there any specific galactic skills that you use in daily life, such as
Galactic field.
branches, like certain metaphysical skills that you use, like specific ones in daily life that you carry in your genetic baggage? For example, you have grid working, channeling, stuff like that.
Well, I'm always um, open to uh, all energies so that I can negotiate my daily life um, to the highest capacity that I am able to, and I will always read energy as I see fit or when needed.
Hmm. So,
Uh,
okay.
it's
Do
important
Okay,
to
sorry.
to always be developing your sixth senses and any other sense that is developing within your spirit, mind, body.
I would call that a bit of everything. And did you like other ascended masters that you resonate with more, or you already consider yours an aspect of you ascended, or like how do you think of ascended masters, and are there some who you resonate with more than others?
So how do I think that they what?
You know, well, about ascended masters, are there like ascended masters that you resonate with more? Do you already see a part of you as already ascended? Like, what is your perspective on ascended masters and how to work with them?
Well, uh, I am an ascended master myself in previous uh, cycles, so to speak,
Previous what?
cycles of
Oh,
evolution.
cycles.
So once we move through and into the 12th dimension and reintegrate with source energy of the 13th, we repeat the process again. However, in this lifetime, I had chosen to regress and lower my frequency and integrate into the third dimension to participate in the ascension process.
Hmm. Do you have
from
any? Oh,
from a seventh dimensional being.
okay. Do you know if you have any parallel incarnations right now?
Many,
Many. So you all live at once?
yes.
Oh yeah, but besides, the time is very quantum, so the fact that there are parallel incarnations don't always seem to, like, whether you have future lives or whether you have past lives. I think that there's some kind of overlap within that we can't always understand. But yeah, I think, and my main message with is that right now you can have multiple incarnations. As for me, I don't even know yet, but it seems cool that you can have multiple embodied incarnations at once. So, do you have you did you were you able to predict the whole I'm gonna like use code words, but for example, the Armageddon infection scare, where you're able to have some foresighting of that?
So Armageddon.
Infection scare, like the thing we're living right now. I just want to avoid like algorithm trigger words.
So what about it?
Yeah, the CV.
Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, were you did you have some like foresighting of that happening?
Oversighting.
Yeah,
Uh, it's
foresighting.
it's all written in the Bible, in Revelations, the vials that are expelled over humanity of disease, of catastrophe, control. It's all pre-written into the programming of humanity for humanity to decide who and what they are in any given moment to evolve into a fundamentally benevolent species. So the trauma is used to initiate people into the depths and the reaches of their deepest inner selves for reflection, to stimulate awakening. So in a roundabout context, yes, I knew that things were going to be happening, and as soon as that they arrived, I immediately knew the agendas and the intent behind what is being orchestrated.
Sure. So, did you try to inform your family or your friends about questioning the whole thing? Did you have any? Did you see any genuine consideration and questioning of the pandemic, and or did you have to like let them go and get their needle, so to speak? Have you seen people close to you see a bit
Well,
into the truth?
it's important to discuss things and to gain perception, and all people have their own journeys, and this must be respected.
I agree.
So we cannot save anyone but ourselves. So by leading by example, we lead the role that we play.
Interesting.
So yes, I've discussed these issues and many others with anyone and everyone, not just with my family or friends,
I can see
but with
that.
people that I meet out on the street. Because a lot of people are unaware of the other side of the coin because of the manipulation by mainstream media only reporting in a very biased way with a set psychological agenda
Yeah.
of programming and information.
So, a little question here. Have you ever visited any important Earth chakras or sites such as Mount Shasta or Uluru Rock, stuff like that? Have you ever been to Uluru Rock?
No, I haven't.
No. Okay. Or Mount Shasta, which is
No, I've
a
never.
hot spot? Okay. Okay, I think enough traveling questions. Um, have you ever had to move places to transmute or open vortexes? Or,
Have I ever had to move to do it?
yeah, or just travel and then come back?
Um, I I participate in the Earth's grid system pretty much every day, and integrate with the nodes and the ley lines wherever I am.
Yeah, it
I've
can be done
always
remotely as well.
done earthwork. I always bring energy in from source through Arcturus Alcyone into the Earth's grid system. I'm always integrating with Terra Gaia.
And do you in what ways do you feed back with Mother Gaia, and how you help her ascend? Is that the general, or is there more?
Uh, how do I?
Um, help Mother Gaia ascend and integrate. Is that the all, like the general, or is there more to it?
Us starseeds and empaths and light keepers, we are here to, as conduits, to increase the vibration of Mother Terra Gaia. This is the purpose of our being here, which in turn raises the frequencies of all other beings on the planet. The purpose of Earth is to manifest heaven into a physical reality so that many more experiences may be felt with soul. And
With
this is the
soul.
purpose of the Lord's Prayer, which is programmed into each and everyone's DNA. This is the baseline of the existence of humans on planet Earth, is to fulfill this paradigm and to bring it into existence. But we must first recognize what does not work in order to fully experience and ensure the continuity of the end goal or destination, so to speak, which is to create a literal heaven on earth with these biological systems that we call human beings, and experiencing through these enhanced biological systems created by many others across the universes.
Mm. So, have you ever been to other universes than this one, or super universe?
Have I ever been to other universes?
Yes, or super universes.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. Mm, for the sake of the interview, um,
Momentarily,
huh?
momentarily, very short periods of time.
Okay. If you want to add more, you can. But I'm gonna, for the sake of the audience, I'm gonna ask, in what star systems or planets have you mainly incarnated in over your cycles?
Oh, um, Pleiades, Sirius, Lyra, uh, Arcturus, Alpha Centauri, Andromedan, the Fae,
The fairy?
yes, 78 lifetimes with the Fae, and many others.
Hmm. So mostly you've said before that you live many thousands of incarnations, right?
Yes, tens of thousands.
Hmm. Yeah, that mostly sounds like a space cat having 9 lives plus. Just joking, but
Well, we
uh,
are eternal beings.
yeah, I
We
don't
are
know.
in.
Yeah, but I don't know how many lifetimes I had, but apparently I had a lot. I did go to Lyra and Pleiades as well, and Orion, but um, do you have you ever used musical channels to do to have you ever pulled inspiration and like did music or art to, well, I can see you did have some art done, but do you use like music, other forms of art to really channel down these energies sometimes, or do you make your own such content?
Do I make my own?
You know, like art, music, just to channel the energy that you receive.
I've written a lot of poems and I've drawn a lot of things. I've channeled the symbol, the yellow sun symbol with the geometric proportions.
You've done
Um,
codes, right?
sorry,
You've done codings. I think I saw that on your site.
it's my avatar for my channels. I channeled those symbols from my guides.
Hmm. You've done portal codes as well, visually?
Portal codes.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You know, like I think like at one point you did like on your art show on your website you had codings visually, and like for some of them like dial to a certain star system or Arcturus, stuff like that.
Well, the black one, I did the black one. I was channeled that one at the same time, and that's a portal.
Hmm. Do you use these codes on yourself?
I have done in the past.
And do you like still do codings or
I'm 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 uh, I'm already connected, so I was already connected when I produced that geometric portal.
Oh yeah, but like in general, do you still draw codes or portals, stuff like that?
No, I haven't been prompted to.
Oh, okay. Mm, have you ever done? Is there like do you have clear biological access, or do you have some insight into the biology of the systems that are present in this planet?
Sorry, I don't understand the
Do
question.
you have like a certain skill with the biological energy of the planet, like a clear vision? Do you work in like a strong manner with the DNA and that stuff?
Uh, with myself, yes, and the energies that are being presented to Earth from all other star systems, extraterrestrials, light entities, ascended masters, are all designed to enhance and upgrade the human potential. It's up to the individual to participate into their own evolution with intent, desire, and unconditional love.
Beautiful. Do you have certain uh, flowers, botanic species that you particularly resonate with? Trees, plants,
They're,
animals?
they're,
No?
they are all magical.
Oh,
Orchids are very unique.
okay. Cool. So do you know if you have like a certain spirit animal?
Um, no, I've never considered a spirit animal.
Okay. Well, I know that mine is the falcon or something like that, like avian. But did you do you have like children on Earth right now that are incarnated?
Children,
Yes.
not on Earth.
Oh. So they're in the galaxies?
Yes, I have two.
Two that you know of?
Two that I have.
Oh, okay. Mm, are you in contact with your galactic parents?
Am I in contact?
With your own galactic parents?
My galactic parents,
Yes. Kind of funny question, but
my soul parents.
do you consider a soul to have two parents that created it originally when it was first put into shape and given a personality?
Your oversoul is your parent.
Oh. But do you think one's oversoul also has a parent oversoul?
Yes, it's infinite.
Wow. Yeah. No wonder I have many higher self names. um, I'm gonna think of other questions. Um, do you use things such as EMF blockers or Like anything that blocks electromagnetic smog, stuff like that?
No.
No. Mm,
I just make sure that the internet is always switched off at night time before I go to
Leakable.
sleep. And I do not carry the phone on my person. Very rarely will I carry the phone on my actual person.
Hmm.
It's always kept away from my body.
Okay, so can you tell who are these people on your background, if that is your will?
Yes, to my right is Saharine. She came to me last year. The picture came through in an email that I received. I think it was an email or it was a link that was in an email to a web page. And I felt a strong connection there immediately. And I asked her what her name was, which is Saharine, and she's Arcturian. And through further communication with Elektra about it, Saharine came through to her and told her that her and I have been partners on a very many number of occasions, on a very many number of lifetimes in Arcturus. The being on my left, her name is Zariah, and she is one of my soul family members who I have a very strong heart-to-heart connection with. The being behind me there, her name is Nan, and she is a seer. I've meditated with her on
The
many,
eye.
and down the lower left, under Zariah, is Polenia. She's a seventh dimensional Arcturian being, and she is another friend. And the being down the bottom right is Shayla, and she is Pleiadian, and she is another one of my soul family members.
Oh, her name reminds me of Shayla of the Yahyel. I don't think that's the same Shayla, but she's another
I have,
contactee.
I
Contactor,
have,
actually.
I have seen that, and this is incorrect.
Also, what is incorrect?
Uh, I have seen a video from a young lady who has that same picture and has called her a Yael being, and she is not. She is Pleiadian.
Oh, but is it the same Shayla or is it two different Shaylas?
She's got that same picture.
Oh, so it's just that it's the same image, but it's not the same Shayla.
She's using the same image and saying that it's Shayla of the Yael.
Oh, so it's only the picture.
Pardon?
So it's only the image, you say?
She's been using the same image and saying that she is
Oh,
Shayla of the Yael.
Okay, well, I respect your perspective on that. But have you ever talked to the Arcturian councils or other councils, like higher councils?
Not to only through channeling sessions with Daniel Scranton, not directly myself, that
Do you feel
I
that
have. My channelings are with individuals.
I tend to do the same because I'm clearly not the type of person who wants to channel Ashtar because Ashtar can be faked instantly, you know. Uh,
Fake.
like I feel the same. Like I only channel individuals too, or like small groups, because otherwise I feel that any Archon can go in and pretend to be Ashtar or Michael or stuff like that, which is why I do not channel those people publicly, because of course someone is going to come and fake beam them, and they already have their respective genuine channelers. Just
There
a
are a
take.
lot of fake Ashtar channelers.
Yeah, this is why I don't channel him. I don't want to
Well,
get a
one of
fake
my
one.
friends, she spends a lot of time with Ashtar
Huh?
on councils and on missions.
Who?
Ashtar,
Yeah, but who spends a lot of time with Ashtar?
my my friend,
Your friend?
yes.
Okay. Um, have you ever had Earth partners? Sorry if it's a little bit personal, but I know I had.
Sorry, what's the question?
A bit like personal, but have you ever had like deeper relationships with certain individuals on the Earth plane, like partner connection, stuff like that?
Have I only had partners on Earth? Sorry, I don't understand the question.
Did you ever have like partners on Earth? I know it's a bit personal, but
Have I only had partners on
no,
Earth?
not only, but did you ever have partners on Earth?
Yeah,
Ever?
I've only had partners on Earth
You've only had partners on Earth? Is that what you're
in
saying?
with this physical body. Yes.
So in the galaxy, you were like just by yourself?
No, no. In other lifetimes, I've different species have different interpersonal relationships and
Oh,
know
yes,
that
I
they're
see.
to participate within that reality.
Yeah, because I know sometimes like the Earth language is like, oh, you have a boyfriend. But, like up there, I remember that my own interpersonal relationships, we don't describe it or feel it the same way. It's like on Earth you call these partners, but up here, when I was like in these other bodies, it's not the same definition of like having a relationship, you know. That's how I feel about this. So I have my like my what I called my twin flame, but you could call it a soulmate. But on Earth, we only say we have a platonic relationship. Although up there, we don't have the same word because there's more to that. But there's nothing like going to the bed or no. But up there, it's like it's there's no word in English. There's no word in the English language because it's a sacred connection, but it doesn't have anything sexual. You know, this is how I feel with my own, what you could call, um, soulmate. Although I have three that I know of, we each have a different energetic bond.
Yes.
So it's far more complex than
remembering
language
that
says.
pardon?
So it's far more complex than language on Earth can explain, because it's light and there's a coding in it, and it's sacred.
Sexuality is a human experience. It's not a soul experience as such. It's a soul learning, but souls don't have sex with other souls.
Because you're just energetically united already.
Pardon?
Because you already have like the energetic union. You're freezing. Paulio, your camera is freezing, so I'm going to send energy. Okay, done. So what I was saying is,
sex is fundamentally for the procreation of the species. Without
how about,
sex, we cannot reproduce and have a continual evolution of the species. This is a part of the human experience, as with many other species across the universes. However, not all of them use the reproductive function
like
to
asexual reproduction when you clone yourself?
procreate. They use other methods.
Yes, I've heard of parthenogenesis. I've heard of
Arcturians use energetic mindal frequencies to create.
So they
do
just
not.
summon a baby with their mind?
They summons newborns with their minds, yes.
Yeah, I've thought of that before.
They do not have reproductive organs. The Greys have been cloning and the uh, um, the
Humans?
corrosive,
The
the
who?
corrosion, for want of a better word, that has manifested itself within their um, cloning um, processes has come to a point of failure. And this is why they have been abducting humans and
Yes, I've heard of
collecting
this.
cows and collecting bacteria from cows to reincorporate aspects of DNA within their own DNA so that they can start producing reproductive organs to continue their species.
Oh, maybe this has to do with like the ambiguous and like the ambiguity sort of agenda of creating ambiguous sexual polarity. Okay, like no offense to like non-binary people, I know there are some people who are actually in their soul feel not male or female specifically, but sometimes I think that these species purposefully create like implant DNA in individuals using jabs and other methods such as abduction in order to create a sort of ambiguous psychosexual state so they can harvest and use DNA in certain ways that we don't always know for their own benefits. It's an intuition I got actually.
That's also true. Pardon?
Huh? You know, like I think that these species sometimes purposefully mess with the psychosexual DNA, so to create people who they don't they become like obsessed with this sort of sacral imbalance where their sexual polarity will become confused. You know, they're always going from, oh, today like, no offense to people who are like non-binary, like not all cases are like this when you don't feel male or female, like some people in their soul are actually like that. But sometimes I think these what these species do is they manipulate with some people's DNA and they create these sorts of sexual cyborg people, and they create a state of ambiguity purposefully so that these species who have certain genetic agendas can use it for their own advantage by messing with the sexual identity polarity DNA. And
Yes,
this is
this
an intuition I
happens.
got. However,
Yeah.
this doesn't account for all cases, of course, but there are cases where this is the case, especially because of the transgender hormones that have been put into certain jobs since the 60s or earlier. Do you have any take on this? I can't hear you. Sorry, you're muted.
Am I still muted?
No, I can hear you now.
You knew half of what the elites have been doing with genetics uh, and the sexual creatures that they've been genetically manipulating and things. You'd be absolutely appalled.
I saw a lot, I can tell you. But I haven't seen everything, but
A
I've
lot
seen
of
a lot.
things that's going on that people don't know about.
Yeah. I have like whole posts and videos talking about personally laid onto my mind and my template brain and my chakras, like the implants and all, like they have like another agenda which I call the neuro division agenda, and they're creating people who self-diagnose compulsively because someone told them that they act or look like this. For example, they're going to call themselves a sociopath or on the spectrum or like whatever gender. Like they're going to parodize their identity in such an absurd way that there's clearly some kind of mind control, like severe mind control going on. And if I've even analyzed people who act almost like sociopaths, but they fake it, so it can't be like a narcissism pathology, because what people who have a narcissistic mindset do is they'll want to look good, but inside they want to destroy and appropriate the world. However, the reverse of that are people who want to look negative, but inside they're benevolent but misled. I think it's not narcissism, but it's similar. And I've like seen people who have this sort of not so typical way of behaving, and I think that he has correlations with how people compulsively self-diagnose just to look cool and edgy. And this makes me like feel sick to a point. Like, check your soul. I think people they're messing with the soul contact, and they're messing with the signals from the soul contact and inverting them so people think it's their soul, but it's not. They're creating a false self and people interfere with their soul connection. And when they take the you know what, they lose most of the soul connection or all of it. So they have to go and reincarnate on lower dimensional planets all over again just to get back where they were, which is an extremely tragic loss. It's a fate worse than death. It's complicated,
Well,
and I have a lot of articles on that, but I'm gonna keep it simple.
this is where it's important to remain spiritually balanced.
Huh?
This is where it's important to remain spiritually balanced.
I agree, because sometimes people have like a high frequency and they do soul searching, but they grow up and they end up being overly influenced or grow in sort of socio-politically chaotic matrix. So they have like they get a narrowing of their sense of self and personality.
Yeah.
Although they care a lot, but they get stereotyped because they get lost in all of the distraction, and they get this feeling when you have like a fake soulmate. They get the same feeling, but for everything, and they
Well,
change
this is
the
what we're
identity
doing.
so fast.
Well, this is why we have the ascension process. It's to increase the frequency and expand consciousness so that people wake up to who and what they are. The state of confusion, the Dark Ones want people to have so that they're easily manipulated and is it dog winked or ear winked?
Hoodwink, hoodwink.
Hoodwinked.
Yeah.
Um, um, uh, so that they're easily controlled. And so they are counting on the masses not waking up. But in order to counteract the phenomena that you speak of, each and every one of us has a responsibility unto ourselves and those around us to spread frequencies of unconditional love, gratitude, and awareness or consciousness to all those that we come across, whether if they recognize it subconsciously or consciously. It doesn't matter. Nor do we need to preach or dictate to others. We only need to to role model the future and other people's potential within ourselves, to role model within ourselves uh, uh, the future potential and outcomes. And this energetically will hook itself into all those that are ready and respondent to those summonings that they have for themselves or have inquired through themselves.
Okay, interesting. Have you ever tried to ascend other worlds than Earth?
I'm here to ascend this world, but of course, we have all ascended in many other worlds.
Have you done a sort of trying to get people to ascend job on other planets?
This is the first planet that it has been planned and programmed for within this galaxy or universe? Universe. Within this universe, whilst living in a organic body. And so if you're asking, have I assisted with the ascension of other species?
Or worlds, yes.
Of worlds, the answer is yes, but not in this way that we are doing so on Earth in the
Yeah,
here and now. This
because
is the
Earth is
first
a very
time.
different ascension style. It's speeded.
This is the first time that it's been done whilst still in a living body. And this is why it must be done very slowly so that we don't self-destruct.
Oh yeah. I
And
like.
everyone of all levels are being brought into the mix. And so because we're not all at the same pace, this is why it must go slow and steady so that people do not become disorientated and become outside of themselves and or dramatically imbalanced to create problems that are not desired.
Okay. Are you into astrology?
Astrology,
Yeah.
I know the fundamentals of astrology.
Okay. Do you know your like main three aspects? Solar, ascendant.
I could find out, but it's not something that I've pursued.
Oh.
I have pursued those sorts of things in the past, and I've got the details there somewhere, but offhand, I don't. I'm not sure what they are.
Okay. Um. So I have like I don't have a lot of other things to ask. So for now, I think we're just going to leave it there. I don't know if we're ever going to do a second part. That's up to you. So um, I think we're just going to like
One
thank
and a half
the
hours.
huh?
1.5 hours.
Yeah, that's cool. So I would like to thank you for giving me permission to do this interview, and for the audience for their interest. And since we include all, I thank myself as well for allowing this to happen because we're one. But yeah, so do you have any comments to add before we conclude this interview?
Yes. Live your highest ideal in every moment of every day. Stay positive and embrace your sovereignty at all times.
That is all.
That is all.
So be it. Okay, so thank you very much to people who have taken their time for this video. And I am Lasarka Tiyulihin. You can check my YouTube, which is Taehin. and also my Facebook link in the description as well as my blog. And if this ever goes onto Paulio's channel as duplicate, you can also have my links. So I also have like Discord, Skype in case I ever share them. And Paulio, I have one question before we finish this. So I was like thinking of like doing a channel where I put videos of interviews with people who have unlocked certain abilities within them, and to make people to show people that there's a side of reality that we don't always see, and that we all have this potential inside of us, and would perhaps be the first interview on such a channel. So do you think that it could be a good idea for you to share your interview for this channel? In case I like create it, I will give you like the link to the channel.
Sorry, I'm sort
Oh,
of lost you a little bit.
let me repeat that. So I have one small question before we conclude this
Yeah.
interview. So soon enough, I'm going to like create a new YouTube. I'm going to like do a YouTube channel, and this channel will be about. It's like special books by special kids, but it's like the opposite. Like this channel has like Chris Ulmer on it, and he interviews people who have like conditions and disabilities. But my new channel will be about people who have what in 3D you called new superpowers, whatever they call it. But deep down, it's more about people who have managed to unlock their higher self and certain abilities within them that they can use to make people know that we all have this potential inside of us. And so
Yes.
you would perhaps be the first interview on such a channel. It's been an idea that's made in my head quite a long time. So can I ask you if you would ever accept releasing your interview for such a project?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Well, yeah, that's what I do with my psychic readings. Every couple of weeks at the markets, it's always about helping others to develop their own sixth sense and psychic awareness. It's a part of our ascendment as human beings.
Ascension?
Yes. Um, and one of the first gifts that we will all receive once we become fifth dimensional beings is telepathy. So, and that's what psychic ability is. It's telepathy. So, all the clairvoyants and mediums out there are using a form of telepathy. That's what it is. So, um, that's what I do during the course of the readings that I do. It's 99% of the time, or 95% of the time, it's revolving around that person's guides and angels, invigorating them to expand consciously and psychically. So that's what I already do anyway. So if that's what your channel is about, then that fits in with my paradigm.
Okay, cool. So again, thank you for this interview, and I would like to somehow leave with a small prayer. May the forces of the light be within each one of our hearts, and may our ascension together as a collective be assured by the divine, and may Mother Earth bless us all, as well as the high angelic kingdom and the ascended masters. Blessings to all who watch this video, and to all in this universe. So be it.
So be it.
Okay, so now we're gonna finish this interview and move on, and we'll see what happens next.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much for coming, Paulio, and I
Yep.
hope that you have a great now.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. And God bless. Namaste.
God bless. Namaste. This concludes this interview. So, see you.
Bye.